Hey there, this is Kendall Lyden with My Home Option. In this video, we're going to be talking all about the FHA Streamline Refinance. So if you currently have an FHA note, you're looking to lower that interest rate, possibly reduce some of those monthly payments, maybe even be able to skip that appraisal, then the FHA Streamline Refinance may be just the right product for you. In this video, we're going to be talking about what it is, we're going to talk about some of the guidelines, we're going to talk about the pros and cons, and finally, we're going to talk about how you can get one. So first off is we talk about what is it, right? What is an FHA Streamline Refinance? Well, it's designed to help homeowners who currently have an FHA note to be able to streamline easily and quickly into a new FHA note where they're able to lower some of those monthly payments and see a financial benefit. That's really kind of in essence what it is. Now, in order to really kind of understand some of the fine details, we really need to jump into the guidelines of the FHA Streamline Refinance. Now, first off, the first very important guideline is you have to currently have an FHA note in order to be able to leverage the FHA Streamline Refinance. So if you've got a conventional note or a VA note or anything like that that's not an FHA mortgage, you won't be able to use this product. But as long as you have an FHA mortgage, you can roll into the next step to see if you could qualify. Second thing is you have to make sure that you meet the net tangible benefit standards of the entire transaction. Now, this is extremely important. So there are kind of two ways that you can look at this. If you are reducing your term or if you're not reducing your term. So let's start off with if you're reducing your term, which basically means you're shortening the amount of time that you have to pay off the note. If you're doing this, your new interest rate must not be higher than your current interest rate. And also, your payments must not exceed your current payment by more than $50 per month. So basically, you have to be able to, if you're shortening the term of your loan, you have to be able to move into a lower interest rate to be able to make those payments where you're either break even, you could be, up to $50 more than your current payments, or you can be less. But, really the whole idea around an FHA Streamline Refinance isn't even to help you just pay off your home quicker, but really the biggest thing is there's got to be a financial benefit here. So they really want to make sure that you're able to lower those monthly payments. And so if you're reducing your loan term, that's great. You just have to make sure that you're lowering your interest and that your new monthly payments aren't going to exceed your current monthly payments by more than $50. If you're not reducing your term, there are still guidelines on, how much your interest rate can change, how much your mortgage insurance premium and all that kind of coming together can change and fluctuate, but that depends on a whole lot of different factors, and it's just too broad for us to cover on a video. So your best bet is going to be talking to an A+ lender and kind of getting all the rates and terms based on your unique situation. We're going to talk about how you can do that at the end of this video. Now, there's also timing to consider. So you must have at least made 6+ payments on your current FHA note in order to be able to even think or qualify for the new FHA note. You have to also have at least 6 months since your first payment was due on your current FHA note before you can refinance into a new FHA note. And you have to have at least 210 days that have passed since the closing of your original FHA note and the closing of your new FHA Streamline Refinance note. But as long as you meet those three factors as far as timing, which most people will, then you have to also, look over your situation and see if you are in good standing. So what is good standing? Well, in the past 6 months, you can have no payments that are over 30 days late. And in the past 12 months, you can have no more than one payment that was over 30 days late. So as long as you're good to go on all of those different criteria, then we can jump into some of the pros and the cons of refinancing, but specifically looking at the FHA Streamline Refinance to see if this is a product for you. Some of the pros, and this goes for all refinances, but you have the opportunity to lower that monthly payment. Now, there are strict guidelines. So if you are extending your loan term in order to lower that monthly payment, you cannot extend your loan term by more than 12 years. That's really important. You've got to make a note of that because you've also got to be able to meet those net tangible benefits within everything as well. You also must reduce your interest rate. So you have to at least have a small reduction in interest rate, and if you're going to extend your term, you can't extend it for more than 12 years. You also have to lower your, if you're looking to lower your loan term, that's great. This is a pro, that you can do with most refinances, but you have to make sure that you stay within those net tangible benefits that we addressed earlier. Another pro is you can possibly refi even if you owe more than your home is worth. Now, this is extremely unique to these streamlined refinance options. And this is because the FHA Streamline, it primarily is determined whether you're able to do it or not on the outstanding loan balance and seeing if you meet those net tangible benefits throughout the transaction. And it's not so much on the value of the house. As long as you are experiencing a positive financial benefit, at the end of the day, if you're experiencing that positive benefit and you're within those net tangible benefits, you're able to get this product, which is very unique, especially if you're in an upside down situation. You could still have some financial reprieve. Also, another great part of the FHA Streamline Refinance is that there's limited documentation usually required and a very limited credit check. Now, there's basically two types of documentation and credit checks that can be required during this process. Number one is called a credit qualifying FHA Streamline Refinance, and then the other type is a non-credit qualifying FHA Streamline Refinance. So let's talk about credit qualifying first. Now, this one's a little bit more in depth, a little bit more invasive. This is where you're gonna have to provide some income documentation. You're gonna have to go through a credit check. They're gonna really kind of cross their T's, dot their I's, but this is usually only required if you're changing some type of financial aspect as far as the borrowers grow in some major way. So basically, one of the main areas, main ways you'd see, having to go through a credit qualifying process is if you're removing one of the borrowers from the mortgage. So whether, it was somebody that signed, a co-signer or something like that, then you would have to go through this credit qualifying process. But if everything's staying the same as far as the borrowers go, most of the time you can go through what's called non-credit qualifying. And this is where you only have to do a credit check, and there's very few factors that they actually look at. They usually don't do any income verification during this process. It's very fast and it's extremely easy on the approval process. Because again, especially if you're not changing borrowers, it's really at the end of the day just coming down, is there a financial benefit and are you within those net tangible benefits that are required during the transaction? One of the great pros, lastly, specifically for an FHA Streamline Refinance, is that there is no appraisal, which is fantastic. And that's because, again, it's not really determined on the value, but it comes down to, is there that financial benefit and the net tangible benefits, are they met during the transaction? Now, some of the cons, and some of these are going to apply for all refinances, like closing costs. There's still closing costs to consider. Just like any other refinance, that's something that you're going to have to pay this extra fee. So you need to make sure that with those closing costs considered, does this make financial sense? Now, here's the deal. According to FHA, you can't wrap these closing costs up into the FHA Streamline Refinance note, but you may be able to work out some type of deal with your lender where they cover it, but you just have to make sure that you stay within those net tangible benefits that we talked about earlier. Also, you can't get any cash out. This is really more of a rate and term refinance. It's not a cash out refinance. So the maximum amount of money that you can get out of your home if you're doing something like this is $500. So if you're looking to get more than $500, if you're looking to do like a real true cash out refinance or tap into some equity, you're gonna be better off looking on the conventional side for, like I said, a cash out refinance or a home equity loan or a HELOC loan or one of those other types of loan options to tap in some of that equity along with, looking at refinancing or doing a product like that. Also, your MIP, mortgage insurance premium, also you may know this as private mortgage insurance. Private mortgage insurance is just the conventional term. Mortgage insurance premium is the FHA term, but it's basically the same thing. It's still required. So if you're in a situation where you do have equity greater than 20% and you feel like that mortgage insurance premium cost is going to be more than it's worth to do an FHA Streamline and you want to refinance, maybe it would be a better option to look at going conventional, because as long as you have 20% or greater equity, you can forego having to pay for, in that case it would be private mortgage insurance or FHA, the mortgage insurance premium. But as long as you're doing this FHA Streamline Refinance, you have to pay that mortgage insurance premium. So that's kind of an unfortunate side to this FHA Streamline Refinance. So in closing, make sure that you get connected with an A+ lender, and we're going to tell you how to do that. One of the ways, really the biggest way that we recommend over here is to schedule your free one-on-one strategy session with the My Home Option team over at myhomeoption.com. Now, this is the #1 method available to homeowners right now to get more money, more success, and less headache throughout this transaction. So if you're looking to sell or refinance your home, just remember this is 100% free. It's a simple 15-minute call, and it's an easy 5-step process where we assess and understand your situation, solidify your needs and your wants, we assess your options and game plan with you, we connect you with an A+ Pro, and then at the end, that A+ Pro and our team work to meet and exceed your expectation. Best part is it's completely unbiased, and there's zero pressure. Now you may be asking, well, how's that? That's because My Home Option, us over here, we are not a lender, we're not a realtor, and we're not an investor. We're only here to help you get your best home option. Now, we also pass the cost on to the real estate professional so you don't feel it. So once again, remember, this is 100% free for you to be able to leverage and utilize as a tool at your disposal. So make sure, again, that you set up your free one-on-one strategy session over at myhomeoption.com. Also, make sure that you check out our channel and subscribe to get all of your questions answered and see and figure out and understand all those unique tidbits along this process as you look to sell or refinance. You can also follow us on Facebook for real-time market updates, tips, and tricks, and you can get tons of resources over at myhomeoption.com/resources. Now, we're super grateful you stopped by. We hope that this video is very informative, give you a lot of information on an FHA Streamline Refinance, and you now have a better idea if this is something that you would like to leverage or if it's something you want to pass on and go a different route, maybe a VA Streamline Refinance if you have a VA note, or a conventional refinance where you do a rate and term, or a cash out refinance, or a HELOC, or a home equity loan, or all those different options. We have videos over all those, so make sure that you check those out, and we will see you on the next video.